Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast, the only podcast within a podcast. Each week we'll attempt to create the next hit audio show as we pitch our brightest ideas for pods about anything and everything. But more often than not, pretty much nothing. I am your host, Podmaster and Commander Dino, and joining me as always are my good friends Podmaster Chief Danderz, and Davey Hogan is here too, shirtless as always. Let's get into it.
We should start a podcast.
Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast. On the mic is your podcast host for today, Dino. Little sickness update. Last week I gave one, but I am in fact still sick. You boys already know that. It's not COVID anymore. It's some sort of mystery virus, it seems. So yeah, that's it. I'm also going to be low energy today. Sorry, boys. Who else do we have here? We have Danderz top left in my screen. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm bottom right in my screen. Can I just clarify? Yeah. Wait, that's weird.
All right, run it back. This fucks this whole shit up.
Yeah, all good. It's not like a venereal virus, is it?
I wish. That would mean I'd be having sex.
You just cloaked it in so much mystery. I didn't know what else to expect.
Very mysterious. I don't know. I should go to the doctor, but it just takes so long to get to.
It takes so long to get it out of the pants.
Well, this is something that we talk about a lot on this podcast, but it's a stark reminder that I am, in fact, getting very old and my body is giving up on me.
No, I think I said this last week, or certainly a recent episode. You I don't know if I'd describe you as a sickly guy, but like there are times when maybe you are a little sickly. You know, like you get a little sick in the change of seasons. You always have, as long as I've known you, and it's one of your charms.
I'm like really healthy until I'm not, and then I'm like really not. Another quick anecdote, something that made me feel really old during the week. I was listening to that Kid Cudi song, Make Her Say. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Featuring Kanye and Common. It was like a remix of Poker Face, the a cappella Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I remember that.
But there's a line in it, in Kanye's verse. He goes, "Hold up, born in 88, how old is that? Old enough." And I was thinking like, hold up, born in 88, how old is that? 36. Like, oh my God.
Way too old. Way too old.
It has made me feel very old. We have Davey here too. Old as ever, top right in my screen. This is a little game we play in this podcast. Where are you on your screen, Dave?
Same as Danderz, I'm bottom right.
Oh, you should have given the listeners a chance to weigh in. Leave it in the comments. You're also bottom right.
Just wait. Cut the podcast there. Find out next week.
I'm bottom right as well in mine. Have we stumbled upon something?
I think that might just be.
That might be the
design,
default setting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I believe today we're exploring Google default settings.
And the listeners keep coming back.
How are you, Davey? You had your birthday celebration, speaking of getting older.
Happy birthday, champ.
Yeah. The big 3-1 tomorrow. So yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like after 30, the next 9 birthdays is just like waiting to become 40, possibly. So maybe it's just a bit of a dreary way of looking at it.
30s are the new 20s.
That's definitely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like
33 and a third is a third of a century. 33 and a third. And then 35 is... There's nothing about 35.
There's something about 35. There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
There's something about it. There's something about
35 has aura, as the kids would say. Do you have aura, Danderz, today? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I don't know if I'm feeling aura. I'm stuck on like trying to make sense of, 35 is less than 36, which is too old, you know?
That's too old. Get it together, Kanye.
Yeah,
36 is too old.
Come on.
I wanted to make a comment about did you get a haircut, but I am trying not to because I realized that 40% of the podcasts we have start by someone asking you, Danderz, if you got a haircut.
Yeah, and half the time I haven't. I don't remember if we did one last week. Did we meet last week?
We did the official Christmas list last
That's
week.
right. I had a relatively recent haircut.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what the people want to hear. Also, what the people want to hear is the We Should Start a podcast, which is this very here podcast. And what is the point of this podcast? The point is that we want to create a hit podcast. We want to go number one on the charts, Spotify, Apple Music. We want to be in everyone's Spotify Wrapped for 2025. I think it's a bit too late for 2024, but next year for sure. But we don't have that perfect podcast idea yet. So this show is a sort of placeholder where we are pitching our podcast ideas with the hopes of striking gold. We've had some bangers, but we still haven't found the right show. So we will continue to pitch and, of course, pod. Is that fair to say, guys?
I did actually have a nice moment last night at a friend's birthday party. Somebody was asking about the podcast, and the first question was, is it on Spotify? And in my head, it was like, yeah, I know it's on Spotify. But if I type in We Should Start a Podcast into Spotify, is it going to show up? And it did. First result, boys.
Oh, we've done it.
Are you sure that wasn't on your
completely
phone?
separate to me? No, it was at their phone. I've never met this person before.
Whoa.
So that was nice. Maybe it's location based. Maybe Spotify knows that they were standing next to me. I don't know. Either way, it was a nice little moment. And I was sweating for a second just in case I had to scroll through 30 different podcasts to find ours.
I felt like at the start when we checked, you did have to scroll through 30. We should start a podcast. So maybe it's just all the traction we're getting, you know? We're putting some fire episodes out. We're getting a dedicated fan base.
We have just under 200 listens. Huh? How about that?
Nice.
That's something.
I'm glad that we have finally surpassed the other We Should Start a podcast that last released episodes 3 to 4 years ago.
Trailed off.
Yeah.
I don't think 200 accounts for all of our family listening to every episode, though. So I think that someone in our camp is skipping, you know? If all of our family listen to every episode that we've done,
No.
I think that it should clear 200. So I think that someone is fudging the numbers.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have to launch an inquest into this.
Yeah. Dave?
You want me to launch the inquest? What do you Dave? Like, what do you mean, Dave?
You're up. I got big old biceps and a big hard on. No. Literally, I tell people not to listen to the first episode. I hate myself. Why would you do that to me? I hate you right now.
It's immortalized in the soundboard. Sorry, Nash.
I literally. Oh, I'm so angry at you. Did you end up on the naughty list last week? You did?
I did.
Yeah, you
You're
deserve
fucking
it.
on it now anyway.
Fucking deserve it. I'm so upset.
Oh, that is
And
cold.
with that, we are now ready to hear from our podmaster of the week, the forever shirtless Davey Hogan. To remind everyone how this will work, Hogan will be pitching his latest podcast idea and taking us through a complete trial episode. Following the podcast within a podcast, colloquially known as a podception, we will collectively critique Davey's show based on a classic podcast rating system. But before he pitches, I am legally obligated to remind all the pod goblins out there that WSSAP never do any research as to whether these podcast ideas exist in the real world. So by accessing the content of this podcast, including the information presented, opinion expressed, and creative elements, you are hereby forfeiting rights to any intellectual property you may already hold in relation to your podcast. And there are absolutely no exceptions to that rule. Danderz recently pitched the official Christmas List podcast, and you best believe Santa has already received a cease and desist from WSSAP. With that in mind, I will let Davey introduce you to his latest podcast. What do you have for us today, Davey?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, Dino. Today's podcast is a little different. It is called The Great Podscape. From the title, any ideas what that could entail? What could it be? What could it be about? Danderz?
The Great Escape is a very famous movie, isn't it? So, I don't know. I'd say maybe some movie references, maybe some escape references. You made me and Dino put prison rooms as our backgrounds. So,
That was just a kink thing.
That was just a kink thing. Yeah. But perhaps there's a little escape room, paraphernalia or something like that. I don't know.
Interesting. Dino, what are you thinking?
Well, like Danderz alluded to, The Great Escape is a classic action movie starring Steve McQueen. And I think something that we've all been suspecting for a while is that I'm largely considered the Steve McQueen of podcasting. So
Podcasting at large, yeah.
Like my silky transitions are sort of the equivalent of motorcycle stunts and shit. So this might be some sort of tribute cast recognizing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you both are kind of on a decent enough trail there, but not quite just yet. Let's get stuck into it. Find out what it's all about.
This week, we are diving into the world of the Great Podscape.
Welcome, adventurers, to the Great Podscape, the podcast where your choices shape your destiny. Tonight, our panelists face the ultimate challenge, escaping from the infamous Black Rock Penitentiary, known for its high walls, unrelenting guards, and sinister Warden Lockwood. No one has ever successfully broken out until, perhaps, now. Meet today's players in this high-stakes game of wits. Dino, you will be playing as Riley, the smooth-talking thief with sticky fingers and a nose for trouble. Danderz, you will be playing as Sam, the reluctant genius whose engineering skills might just be their ticket to freedom. Your goal, escape the prison by sunrise. Fail, and you'll face solitary confinement. Or worse. The rules are simple. I'll guide you through your journey, presenting you with challenges, choices, and moral dilemmas. Your ability to ask the right questions and make smart decisions will determine your fate. Are you boys, Riley and Sam, clear on the task at hand?
Can I be the character with a sticky nose and fingers for trouble?
Yeah, and I want to be Joey Deschanel.
What was the name of the prison again? Black Rock. Is it up in Black
Rock? Black Rock Penitentiary. Yeah, in Cork.
Yeah.
But no, you have to be Riley and Sam. It is the. I didn't write this. I didn't make it up. This is real. This is real life.
Do I have any character instructions? Like, what are my motivations?
You have sticky nose and fingers for trouble.
Yeah. You guys are both in prison for crimes you may not have committed, so you are feeling hard done by. Hence the motivation to try and get the fuck out of there.
Do we know if we've committed them?
Of course, because you are masters of your own destiny, I guess.
And what are the crimes that we're supposedly in prison for?
So Riley, the smooth-talking thief with sticky fingers and a nose for trouble, clearly stealing things. And Sam, engineer, you blew some shit up that you didn't mean to. So now you're in jail for that. Yeah. Or allegedly.
Got, big old biceps and a big heart on. I'm second.
Oh, that would
I'm
never not
second.
be funny.
I mean, like, I was hoping we'd come to a point in time where we could delete the first episode entirely and, like, no one would be any the wiser. And you've gone and made it canon. That's just fantastic. I'm delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Continue, Dave. Sorry.
It's all good. So Riley and Sam, are you guys clear on the task at hand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It will all make sense as time moves on. Let's begin. Act 1, the setup. You're locked in cell 14. Make note of that.
Are we cellmates?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're locked in cell 14. A cold, dimly lit room that reeks of mildew and despair. The iron bars glint faintly under the flickering fluorescent light. Outside, you hear the heavy boots of a guard pacing back and forth. The jingle of his keys echoing down the corridor.
Danderz, I think there is
But the Christmas episode was last week.
From the cell next to you, an old man whispers urgently,
If you want out, now's your chance. But you'll need brains and guts.
Dave, can I add something? Hey, an old man whispers softly.
Get the dog, get the dog!
I'm glad it wasn't a Harvey from the Lovely Bones reference. What?
Right,
can you repeat the old man's quote in, like, words that I can understand?
If you want out, now's your chance. But you'll need brains and guts.
Okay.
Not too significant,
both,
it's just
Sam.
adding to the story.
Yeah, I'm the brains and you're the guts.
You're the brains and the brawn and the guts, and I've got the sticky fingers.
So, what's your next move? Option A, sweet talk the guard. Option B, search the cell for tools. What are we thinking, guys?
Is the guard gay?
Possibly. There's only one way to find out. Maybe
and
smooth
how
talking
pretty are
Riley
we?
might be able to find out.
Yeah, okay. Riley's a smooth talker. Yeah, that was one of the details.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Smooth
details.
talker, yeah.
I figure you may as well give it a go, Riley. What do you say?
Mm-hmm.
Just put your leg
Okay.
out there. And, hello. Yeah.
Okay, Riley, you call out to the guard.
Hey, guard.
This is so
Why
smooth.
don't you come over here and give me some
Keys.
Yeah.
The guard stops mid-stride, his silhouette visible through the bars.
What do you want?
He grumbles, his tone wary but curious.
I want you to bring that sweet smile over here, boyo.
Nice.
The guard steps closer, his keys jingling. He squints at you, clearly suspicious.
All right.
He says,
What's in it for me?
A little smooch from yours truly. I've got sticky fingers and a nose for trouble. Wink.
Riley is successfully distracting the guard. While this is happening, Sam, what are you doing?
Just jacking off.
Say it again.
Was I supposed to be wearing clothes? Go on. Riley, what are you doing? Or Sam, what are you doing? Sorry.
Like I would be trying to steal the jingling keys, but I'm not the one with sticky fingers. I'm the one who can blow shit up. So I guess I'll just scan the cell and look for tools.
You're wasting your time. If the guard's distracted, you should probably just try and go for
I
it,
just
right?
grabbed it. I'm going for the keys. They're jingling. So I think maybe what I need. So I'm just gonna speak as Sam. I'm gonna grab those keys and.
You probably shouldn't say that aloud. I'm gonna grab those keys and escape from Black Rock Penitentiary.
Okay, but the fact they're jingling, right? I need to keep them jingling. So maybe I.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
Maybe I go. And then I just
That
lift them,
works.
and then I lift them.
That works.
All right.
Love that. As Riley keeps the guard distracted, you notice the keys hanging from his belt, secured by a small lock with a 3-digit combination. Near the lock, you notice a keyring with some writing on it. Kind of looks like a riddle. My first is double my second. My third is the sum of the first two. What am I? My first is double my second. My third is the sum of the first two. What am I?
Dave, do you keep riddles on your keyring?
This
that
guard does.
something that
I don't
you
know,
do?
man. Black Rock
Or is this
Penitentiary is a
based off something that
weird
you do?
place. It's a weird place.
Say it one more time.
My first is double my second. My third is the sum of the first two. What am I? So it's 3 digits. Start as simply as possible.
It's 3 digits, is it? Right.
Yeah, 3
I
digits.
did something like this recently where I had to figure out that the sun was 1.5. But that's
It's
not
not decimals. Yeah.
yeah,
not
exactly. Yeah. Okay. So say it again.
My first is double my second. My third is the sum of the first two. What am I?
2, 1, 3.
213. 213.
2 and 3. My first is double my second. My third is the sum of the first two. Needless to say, you need to figure out the 3-digit code, yada, yada, yada. The guard is still focused on Riley, but his attention might shift at any moment. With steady hands, you
Can I
punch
say
in.
before we get to what actually happens, like, why would you put a riddle on how to open the lock on the lock, which really clearly spells out how to get to the numbers? That's a good guide.
You guys have clearly not played many video games. There's always a clue somewhere. So, with steady hands, you punch in 213. The lock opens with a quiet click, and the keys slip free. The guard remains oblivious, still engrossed in Riley's distraction. You've got the keys. What's your next move?
I gotta get the guard out of here now. So Riley, can you stop sweet talking him and let the guy get back to work so that we can get on with opening this here cell, please?
Yeah, Riley, shake the guard, quick.
Hey, why don't you say you open up this here cage and we can continue this conversation in the officers' quarters?
You don't need to do that. You have the keys. You don't need him.
He can't open the cell. We have the
But
keys.
we might
He
need
doesn't
some
have
more
keys. He's
information,
gonna-
Dave. We might need more information.
He j-
I gotta blow this guy. I got it.
Fuck it, no, I want to get in. Okay, so you have the keys. With the key successfully secured and the guard having walked away because he was sick
Because he's
of
going to get
Riley.
blown in the office. He's just going boy, oh boy, I can't wait for that blow.
You now have a way out of your cell. You use the keys on the cell door and slowly slide the cell door across, allowing both of you out. Your next steps. Option A. In front of you is a dimly lit hallway. You can hear the guards' radios crackling and their boots echoing off the walls. It's risky, but it might lead you closer to the exit. Option B. To your right, a rusty maintenance hatch marked restricted access. The faint smell of damp earth suggests that it leads to tunnels beneath the prison. Possibly? Which option do you go with?
Before we get into it, I feel like I need to say from the top that Riley and I need to play on the same side, and if he's just trying to run off with officers every chance he gets, we're gonna be like, when I heard restricted access, I was like, oh no, that's warmed up Dino now. He's gonna jump for that one.
Actually, the thing I was gonna say is we gotta head towards the officers and seduce them so we can get more information.
Yeah, that was my fear. Yeah. All right, should we actually try and talk about how to get out of Blackrock?
Yeah.
We should probably go for the restricted access hatch, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion as well. Yeah.
Okay.
We never know where it goes though. Like we know that there's an exit the other way. It's just risky, but this one's potentially lower risk, but also lower reward.
Give me 15 minutes. I'll find out where this hatch goes.
So you're going with option B,
Yeah.
the maintenance hatch. You pry open the hatch and descend into the dark, narrow tunnel. The air is thick with the scent of mildew and rust. Water drips from the low ceiling, soaking your clothes. As you move deeper, you hear a faint skittering noise. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appears in the darkness. A rat? No, several rats. They block your path, their sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. Do you keep moving forward or retreat? Keep in mind, moving forward could cause the rats to scatter and arouse suspicion, but retreating could back you up into a situation where the guards have already noticed you're not in your cell. What are we looking at here, boys? What are we doing?
How big is the king rat?
They're all pretty big, king or not.
And are these rats susceptible to seduction?
Only one way to find out. Riley seduces the rats.
All the rats.
Go on, get out of here, Sam. I'll deal with this. Are you sure the rats aren't doing anything? No, go.
I would say that we push on with the rats. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think if there's that many rats inside the prison, the guards aren't going to be alarmed by the movement of rats. They're going to be scurrying around anyways, so it's not going to cause any
You move
suspicion.
forward. The rats scatter. Luckily, does not arise suspicion. You approach a heavy steel door to the boiler room. It's secured with a keypad lock. Above the keypad, someone has scratched a little riddle into the rusted surface. It reads, I am the number of fingers on one hand, multiplied by the number of legs on a spider. What am I?
4 times 8, I would say, is 32. 3. How many numbers is the keypad?
How many fingers are in your hand?
4, because you have a
4
thumb.
and then 1 thumb.
Okay, let's not get too.
It's a riddle. Like, that's the whole
I know.
point. Is it's pedantic.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, but I want you guys to succeed as well. Let's go with.
So the riddle says, like, the number of fingers on one hand,
Plus thumb.
including thumb.
Including thumb.
the thumb is a finger. So 5 fingers by 8
By
is
40.
40.
40. So what was was it 2 number keypad?
It was it's a 3-number keypad. So let's take that number. And what would you put into a keypad if that was?
040.
You punch in 040. The keypad emits a soft beep, and the lock clicks open. With a creak, the heavy door swings ajar, revealing the dimly lit boiler room beyond it. You've made it through. You scoot through the boiler room, finding the exit. The boiler room door is directly across from the prison warden's office. This signifies the next part of your escape. So moving on. Moving on to Act 3, the final stretch. You've made it past the initial obstacles, congratulations. But now you're entering the most dangerous part of your journey, the warden's office. This is the only place where the keys to the exterior gate are kept. The room is richly decorated, a stark contrast to the grim corridors you've left behind. A mahogany desk sits in the center, flanked by 2 tall bookshelves. but you notice something unsettling. Security cameras around the room. You need to be careful. You hear footsteps approaching from the hallway outside. The warden is returning. You only have moments to act. What do? A. Seduce him, jack off in the corner.
I know one way to get those cameras to get turned off.
I've got sticky fingers and 15 rat friends.
Search the desk for keys. Hide and ambush the warden when he enters, or try to disable the security cameras before doing anything else. What do?
So what were they again? There was try and disable the cameras, which is obviously something an engineer supposed to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
There was try and find keys, right?
Yep.
Was that one of them? Try and find keys
Yep.
for the door? And the third one was jump the guy.
Jump the guy.
I think we should do a combination of two. I think we should disable the cameras and then jump the guy.
I think your best option is to stick together on
one thing. Also, like previous obstacles, we just kind of pressed forward. We didn't actually have to do much. But I guess that's the point: is we didn't turn back. We held to our ground. Held our ground. So let's hold our ground one more time, Riley. What do you say, Chief?
I'm in. Samo.
So you're saying you're gonna
No, we
ambush the warden?
We haven't said what we're saying yet.
I would say for me, disable the cameras, because if they see us, we're fucked. Immediately.
Yeah,
And you got that engineering.
I have that engineering background for a reason, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. You locate the power system control panel on the wall and quickly cut the power, which cuts the cameras and everything, plunging the office into partial darkness. The warden enters. Moments later, confused by the sudden blackout, using the darkness to your advantage, you grab the keys and slip past him and head towards the exterior gate. Good job. Got out of there unscathed.
Nothing ever dampens your spirits, does it, Sam?
You guys have a clear path to the gate and can escape without immediate pursuit. The tension rises. You step out of the warden's office, clutching the keys tightly. The hallway stretches before you, dimly lit by flickering fluorescent lights. The faint smell of bleach and metal lingers in the air. You hear distant echoes of guards' boots against the concrete floors, closer than you'd like. Above you, a red glare of security cameras sweep slowly across the corridor, their lenses whirring as they search for movement. Both of you tread the shadows in between the light and the cameras in line of sight. You approach the massive steel gate, the last barrier between you and freedom. It looms over you, cold and imposing, with sharp spikes at the top and rusted hinges that creak faintly in the wind. There's a large padlock panel in the center. Next to it, a weathered plaque with faintly engraved instructions. A faint red light above the gate blinks ominously, indicating the gate is still locked. You put the main gate key into the padlock. It would appear this padlock requires more. You need to unlock this manually, quickly, before the guards catch up and realize you're trying to escape. Engraved next to the padlock, the second prime number and your cell number.
Okay, so first prime number would be 3?
1. No, 1.
Are you sure 1 isn't?
Prime.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
One,
it's a number divisible by 1.
So
itself.
the second
it's
prime
1.
number is 3.
It's 3, yeah.
And our cell number was 14. So
Okay.
What was it 3, 1, 4? Did you say what order was the riddle again, or the instructions? Just so I'm clear.
The order was the second prime number
Followed by your
followed
cell
by
number.
your cell number.
Yeah, 3, 1,
So you're
4.
saying the
I
second
think
prime.
it's 1 anyways. 1 is the first. Yeah, 1. Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah.
You punch in 314. The panel emits a soft beep. The lock clicks open and the gate begins to creak. That rhymes. Revealing the dark forest beyond. Freedom is within reach. But hurry, the guards are closing in fast. You both bolted through the gate. The sounds of alarms and dogs behind you begin to become more and more faint. Freedom. Congrats. You made it out. Congratulations.
Riley didn't even get to blow anyone.
Sam, I gotta head back and see if I can get some more info.
You made it through, and the second prime number is 3, Dino. 1 is not a prime number, 2 is.
Oh, 2, yeah.
But the answer was the same.
yeah, of course.
But yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah, congratulations. Let's cap her off, as Dino would enjoy doing. And there you have it, folks. The Great Podscape. Freedom tastes sweeter when you've earned it. But remember, not every gate opens with the right key. Sometimes you've got to pick the lock. Until next time, stay sharp, stay sneaky, and don't get caught.
Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast. Already in progress, we just heard Davey's Great Podscape podcast. Wow. I really enjoyed that, Davey. I'm having a bit of an identity crisis now. I don't really know who I am anymore. If I'm the slick-talking, sticky-fingered Riley, or am I Dino?
Dino tried to blow me in the break.
Over Google Meet.
Yeah. That was the only blocker, to be fair to you.
Oh, Lord.
The meat is stinking.
That is rotten.
What about you, Danderz? Did you feel a connection to your character, Sam?
Yeah, an engineer who accidentally blows stuff up. That rings true. I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, I felt like I had less of an active role in my character's kind of headspace than you did. You really kind of inhabited that zone. Fair play to you. But,
Yeah, I had to create something.
You did.
know.
Yeah.
I call it the headspace.
In hindsight, I could have played on both characters' backstories a little more, but it was a short one. If it was a bigger, longer game,
Yeah.
more twists and turns.
No, I liked it. Was there any scenario where Sam got to use his explosive expertise?
No, there aren't many explosives in a jail, unfortunately.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Time. Maybe you can break into the prison so you can have a round 2 with that guard, possibly.
I'm going to be sending letters. I'm going to be hanging outside the prison walls, setting my Tinder to like 1 kilometer radius.
Yeah, Dino's praying that we keep this thread going. You know, like if we do more episodes of the same, and then we can keep the same characters, and he can really work it through. You know what I mean?
He can finally get his men in
I'll
uniform.
live a second life.
Catfishing as Riley.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a split personality. It's a major problem. You should seek psychological help.
I should. That could be next week's podcast. We could do like a therapy session on the pod.
Yeah. Is Dave the therapist?
Dave is the therapist, and you are the guard that I have to seduce.
And we're both attending therapy together for some reason to work through this.
Very good, very good. Well, guys, as you know, as always, we will critique the Great Podscape using the classic podcast rating system based on 3 criteria, and those criteria are: number 1, the concept or general idea of the show. Number 2 is longevity. Do we think this show has legs to grow? And number 3, and probably most important, pod sauce. This is the je ne sais quoi flair, extra spice to the podcast that makes it a winner. Pod sauce could be literally anything you enjoyed from the pod or something you thought gave the pod some flavor. This week's pod sauce segment is sponsored by mayonnaise. Wow! Mayonnaise.
That's big.
Huge guess,
That's a
Dave. I don't know who you know of Big Mayo, but they pulled some strings on this one. Wow.
I mean, who's even in the Big Mayo group apart from Hellman's and Heinz? Who else is in Big Mayo, would you say?
In Big Mayo, I suppose you have like the artisanal mayos.
Yeah, but they're not in Big Mayo, sure.
They're smaller.
No,
brands,
they're not
though,
in
right?
Big Mayo.
Yeah.
Does Big Mayo have monopoly on the aioli industry too?
I think that's like a sister industry. Do you know what I mean? I think Big Mayo is Big Mayo. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then They got their fingers in all sorts of pies. You know.
Did you hear that the CEO of Big Mayo was assassinated in New York during the week?
Oh my god. The assassin's in jail trying to get out right now.
Yeah. Oh, nice tie-in. Nice.
So mayo. I guess often our sauce is just kind of by happenstance. It's kind of linked to the podcast. You know, that's the way it's been so far, just by sheer coincidence. So I guess mayo. It's like, oh, you're in a jail, and they love mayo in jails. You know, because they love their sandwiches. They love their mayo.
Yeah.
You could have done like a soap, like a soapy sauce. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't handle like the sponsors. The sponsors contact us, and then we.
I mean, yeah, we
show.
could have pitched. You're right. Yeah. The next time, maybe we go to soap and we say, "Look, this is our thing."
Yes,
You know what I mean?
You could say that Mayo's been having a breakout year. It's like this year.
is that a Podscape reference or?
Well, it's a like a prison escape, a breakout year. It's like this is the year I feel that Mayo is really taking a foothold in the sauce game.
Yeah, absolutely.
2024 has been huge for Mayo.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mayo was on my 2024 Wrapped list. You listened to 20,000 hours of Mayo.
Breaking out of the small sauce industry.
Breaking out of the small sauce industry and into the big leagues, just like us boys. After discussing the 3 criteria mentioned above, concept, longevity, and pod sauce, we will each give our final rating of this week's podcast. Will the Great Podscape be a smash hit, or should we trash it? Davey, why don't you take us through this critique section?
Yes, sir. So we're looking at the concept for the Great Podscape. We'll start with you, Danderz. What do you think?
Very fun concept. I don't know if there's any other escape room podcast, and we don't care. It doesn't matter. We don't give a shit. We don't do any research before we start this thing.
It's R.I.P. now.
It's R.I.P. now, motherlicker.
Anytime anyone blows anyone going forward,
That's
we're
ours.
getting a residual check.
No, I had a lot of fun. I wished it was longer. I wanted more character development. I wanted more options, but not in a way that like you didn't deliver. I was just excited for it. Is my meaning by saying that. So definitely, it felt like something engaging, something fun, something I'd love to get into. So yeah, definitely love the concept.
Nice one. Yeah, when writing it, you could. I was aiming for 20 minutes, as I said, but you could stretch it like for any amount of time, and you could develop those characters. I was trying to keep it as simple as possible.
And let me jump in on concept there, Dave. When you said that, I just had the thought. I mean, if you did do this podcast, if we do decide this is the one, you could even do seasons, right? So season 1, however many episodes, 12 episodes, is just one prison escape, and you have to tune in again next week to find out the next chapter of the story. I love that idea.
Dino's a big Prison Break fan, aren't you, D?
A big Prison Break fan. I have to do a rewatch. I haven't in a while.
The only thing I know about it is he had the map tattooed all over himself. So maybe
On his back, yeah.
that's your next move now.
For this dumb fucking podcast.
Which we may not even do.
Fuck, I thought 1 was a prime number. Yeah, love the concept, Dave.
Thanks, guys. So let's move on to longevity. Does the show or podcast have runway? What are we thinking? Go with you, Dino, this time.
It has runway, and I think you should be on the runway, Dave, for this idea. Oof. You've put on quite the show. Obviously, this show could go on forever. I mean, we could do, like I said, mentioned in the concept section, we could do different seasons. We could do different prison escapes. We could do prison break-ins. We could do a kind of like Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, The Rock style season, Love that.
Thank you, Dino. What about you, Danderz?
Yeah, agree. Like you could do side quests, you could do the same characters, new characters, different seasons and different seasons. Like maybe it's harder to escape in the winter. You know what I mean?
Oh, very good.
Right? Yeah, love it. I think that you could really have a lot of fun with this and go a lot of different ways with it. So I think it's got plenty of legs.
And you could bring on guests and have side characters.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and I could add in more puzzles, riddles, and things like that. I do realize that when I'm saying a riddle to you verbally, it's a little more difficult than seeing it written in front of you. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to keep it simple. But yeah, no, it definitely kind of worked out. How about pod sauce? What is the pod sauce for this pod? We go with you, Danderz.
I gotta give it to my man El Dino over there for his commitment to the character, man. I think he got stuck into Riley straight away.
Who, me? I started slow. I did start slow, but I really just had to dive into the headspace of that character and really personify Riley.
Yeah.
Nice one. And you did. You still got a bit on your lip actually from the.
No, that's mayo.
I've been hogging all that free mayo their sponsor sent us for myself. Sorry, guys.
What about you, Dino? What's your pod sauce?
My pod sauce of the week is the amount of work you put into this, Dave. Love that. I mean, it's not even just the work that we saw. You must have had options depending on which direction we took, A, B, or C. There was different storylines, different things our characters could have done. Great writing, great riddles, great job, Davey.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's half of the battle, really. So yeah, let's move on to the final rating. Was the Great Podscape a smash hit, or should we just go ahead and trash it? Let's go with you, Sam. What are you thinking? Smash it or trash it?
No, this is a keeper. What else can I say, guys? Like I wouldn't mess you around, David. I had a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get to do it again very soon, so it's a smash hit from me.
Nice one. Bing bang bosh. Dino, final rating. Smash it, trash it. What are we thinking?
Dave, this one's tough because I don't want to make a hasty decision before I have all the information available to me. So why don't you meet me in the officer's quarters? It's a smash hit for me. Wow.
Nice one. Thanks, guys. Goes without saying it's a smash hit for me as well. Yeah, it goes without saying it's a smash hit for me. It was fun to put together. I had the idea in my mind before putting any pen to paper, and it was kind of like shit. It could go either way. It could either turn out great or turn out pure poo-poo. But no, I kind of landed somewhere in the middle, which I'm happy with.
No, it was great. Absolutely great. I've been toying with the idea of doing a Dungeons and Dragons style episode for a while, but it's just so much work. So I've just been putting it off.
Is that the Dolph Lundgren thing?
It's the Dolph Lundgren based Dungeons and Dragons called Lundgrens and Dragons. So that's a little teaser, something to look forward to.
It may come around if we can figure it out. Yeah. No, I like to imagine Dave only developed one storyline, and if we picked anything else, he'd have been like, not that way. You shall not pass.
No, but like the hatch looked pretty good though, right?
Are you sure 2 is a prime number?
I have to say as well, Dave, that is a poorly designed prison with all these clues everywhere.
I'm amazed someone didn't get out earlier.
It was very easy to get out, to be fair, but yeah, had to imagine you're just not getting anywhere. Some impossible riddles. That would have been fun.
Yeah,
there was I did have to lean on AI for the riddles because I don't have a book of riddles around.
No, but I'm glad they were solvable because like if you ever read The Hobbit and you're trying to solve the riddle before they say it and like you're there like trying to do your brain, like it would have been a nightmare if you gave us an actually difficult riddle. We just wouldn't have got anywhere. So like I'm glad that it was something that we could manage for sure. I appreciate that. Thank you, David.
It was very close. Every riddle I got, ChatGPT would give me a riddle. Every time I asked for one, it would give me a riddle, and then I write back to it. Maybe a bit easier. The guys will never get this.
Pretend they're 5-year-olds.
I was frozen for all that, guys. I came back and I heard, pretend they're 5-year-olds. And I was like, what the fuck?
I'm in the right place. Oh, God.
Are we talking about Mr. Harvey again? Hope that was your homework.
You'll catch it all in the edit, Dino. Don't worry about it.
I'll catch it all in the edit. That's something to look forward to with editing.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, guys. That was a great podcast. A resounding positive response for the Great Podscape. And it is, honestly, a certifiable smash hit. But at WSSAP, we like to hedge our bets. So until we can get this bad boy into production, we will continue plotting, pitching, and of course podding until we are certain we have the leading product in the Podscape. Any closing words, boys?
Podscape, I like what you did there.
Indeed.
Nice.
Yeah. It ain't easy being this guy. You know what I mean?
Gotta be Riley, gotta be Dino. Challenging.
That's why I'm blowing all the hottest guys. And you are... I don't know what you're doing. What was your character doing,
I'm an
Danderz?
engineer, I blow stuff up, yeah. You know.
Yeah. Some gay shit like that. Well... Folks, you heard it here first, listen out for the Great Podscape coming soon exclusively to the prestigious Mayonnaise podcast app. Wow. If you think that we should start the Great Podscape, please rate, subscribe, and let us know at WSSAP Official on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. That's WSSAP Official on Instagram and Twitter. We are inches away from a huge idea, and you can tune in again next week to hear us pitch that next hit show. And I really think that one is going to be our great escape from amateur podcasting and into the big leagues. What do you think, guys?
I like that. Hopefully this one's gonna blow up like Sam in his past life.
And I think Danderz has something to say here. Hold on, wait for it. He's going to say it now. He's going to say...
I got big old biceps and a big hard on. The reverb that you put on that. Great.
Danderz just has natural reverb for all the listeners out there. Until next time, everyone, keep your ear to the grindstone. And I think we'd all do well to remember the words of the American economist, social philosopher, and political commentator, Thomas Sowell. The great escape of our times is escape from personal responsibility for the consequences of one's own podcast. See you next week.